So in today's video, I'm gonna share with you that how I manage my freelancing stuff, my personal projects, my content creation, skill upgradation, and with all these maintaining my physical and mental health. I can do all these things very efficiently and productively due to something which I have built for myself with lots of efforts and lots of brainstorming. And I'm gonna share with you what is that. So hi, my name is Darshan and I provide software development services as a freelancer to professionals and businesses. If you want to know more about me, you can visit this link. So let's start the video. So basically I have created this automation system for myself with months of brainstorming and efforts, and finally it is helping me to push my work very efficiently and to make my day more productive so that I can achieve my goals and my plans as soon as possible. So to make this system, I have observed my day-to-day life very closely and tried to implement it in my daily day-to-day schedules and the priority work so that it can help me in a long run. So basically this video is divided into two parts. In first part, I'm gonna tell you that what are the key points you have to keep in mind which are important to be productive and to make your day more efficient and more useful. As second, I will share some of the apps and services I use to make this service and this system, and maybe these apps can be helpful to you as well. So the first thing is to understand the importance of routine. Now in today's world, people think that routine is a boring thing and we should explore the life, we should try new things, and that's true. But once you understand that what is that thing which you want to do and to pursue your career onto, then routine is the key element to do something impactful and something significant on that domain. So for that you need a routine and you need to do that thing repeatedly and consistently for many days in order to get some results. So for that, having a routine is important. So once you got that, what are the things you like to do or you want to make your career onto, just think that I have to build the routine onto it to make significant changes and to make a significant difference on that domain. So just keep this thing clear in your mind that routine is important. No matter what you do, everything comes down to the routine only to make something better out of it. Second is conversion of bad habits. Now we all have some good habits and some bad habits, but the thing is these bad habits are the habits which steals most of our time from our day. We can't just wake up one day and can think that we can eliminate these habits. That's not gonna possible. But what we can do is we can convert that bad habits into good habits with right context. And what is this right context? Anything which is related to your career, your goals, so that bad habit eventually becomes good for you and it helps you to achieve your goals and to stay on your journey. Now this thing I tried it on myself, and let me give one of the example. Now I have this habit of spending much more time of my day on a YouTube, and this habit is built from last 6 years, and now I cannot just intentionally one day wake up and change it that I'm not gonna watch YouTube or I'm not gonna see anything else, because nowadays everything is online and no matter what happens you have to visit your mobile, you have to take your mobile onto your hand to get something important, to get something done, and at that time you cannot just replace this thing with anything else. So what I have did is I have converted that watching of YouTube, and specifically the videos I used to watch in initial days, which was like binge watching or watching something which has no context to my goals or my career. I have converted that thing into watching the videos which are related to my career, my goals, my upcoming plans and all related stuff. So now this watching YouTube videos is actually helping me to increase my knowledge into my domain in all contexts, and because of this I have the exposure of a broad aspect now of the hardware and software of the computer. So now I can pretty much solve any problem which comes in front of me related to computer, whether it's about software or hardware or configuration or anything for that matter. So whatever your habit is, whatever your bad habit is, just try to find any good context which is related to your domain or your career, and just try to sync that bad habit somehow with that field, and I'm sure it will help you very well. And third is productive downtime. Now in a typical day, if you watch very carefully, you can see that there are some small chunks of a time frame in your complete day at which you basically do nothing or just waste it in chit-chatting or using social media and stuff. So you can use these small chunks of time to increase the magnitude of your productivity or to plan something related to your upcoming exams or upcoming projects or anything else. So you can use this time very efficiently, and eventually you will find that your day will start going pretty much very productive, and at the end of your day you will feel like you have done so many things in a day. And that's the whole effect of using these small chunks of time productively. Now I use these times to plan my videos, to get new ideas about the videos, to search new stuff related to my domain, to try to find new ideas for my existing apps on the Play Store so that I can update it and I can push a new update with new features. So you can also use these small chunks of time productively with your aspect in your context, and you will eventually get a good results out of your day, and you will feel very happy about yourself that you have used the day very usefully and very productively. So these were the few points that you have to keep in mind, and you have to consider them very seriously before building any type of system. If you keep these points clear in your mind, and if you are serious about these points, then whatever system you will build eventually will help you and support you to really maximize your productivity and to really achieve your goals in less time as possible. So now let's move to the second part of this video, which is the apps and services which you can use to maximize your productivity and which can work as an assistant for you throughout your day so that you can achieve more in a minimal possible time. So the first is Notion. Now Notion is such an amazing thing that I can't even explain in the words. It's basically like a second brain which works continuously in a sync with me to keep my stuff and things in a proper schedule and in an arranged way. So it's basically a project management system tool, as the companies and corporate says it, and they also use it to manage their daily activities, process pipelines. And Notion is actually used worldwide professionally as an industry standard tool. And once you understand the overall working of a Notion and how it works and how it performs and how it can help you, and once you build a habit of using it, it's basically an addictive thing. You can't even live one day of your life without it once you understand it and once you build your system onto it. So let's quickly move on the screen and see what is Notion. So when you go to the Notion page on a browser, you can see that it's notion.so, and you can visit this site and can download Notion from here. Now Notion is available for all major platforms, for Android, iOS, Mac, Windows. So you can download pretty much anywhere you want, and you can install it. So once you install it and make an account onto Notion, you can see this kind of screen in front of you. Now at first glance it may feel a little bit overwhelmed, and to be honest it's a little bit hard to understand, and it took me 15 days to understand it and to properly implement it as I want. But once you understand it, then there is no way back. You can do pretty much anything on it. So the way I can explain Notion to you is, it's like an empty land. It's like a free land where you can pretty much build anything you want. So no matter whatever it is, you can pretty much structure and architect anything you want. And that's the power of Notion, that no matter what is it in your head, you can pretty much build it exactly the way you want it. So as you can see here, there are some pages which I've called WorkDB, NotesDB, LearningDB, and there are many others as well which I have hidden for some security and confidential reasons. So let me give you an overview of what Notion is capable of. So I've created this blank page here. Let's name it first glance. Okay, so you can add an icon from here. You can pretty much add any icon. You can get a link from somewhere of an image and you can add it and you can paste it here. I can add cover here, any cover which gives the context of whatever you will do on this page. So you can add pretty much anything. You can get so many options from here. So now after creating this page, let's see what are the options available to us. So if I click /, you can see how many things are there. It's text. You can add page within page. You can add to-do list. You can add heading. You can add tables. You can add bullet list, number list, toggle list, code, divider. You can link to some other page in your account or somewhere else by a link. You can add emojis, you can add reminder, equation, you can add any kind of maths equation. And from here, as you can see, it calls database. Here's the real power of Notion. As you can see, there are so many databases here. At the first glance, you will see and you will feel overwhelmed. But after you understand it, the way the things you can do with these guys is pretty much amazing. So there are board view, there are gallery view, list view, calendar view, timeline view, database inline like a normal database, and then there is this link view of a database. This is most powerful thing in the Notion, where you can link some other database. With that link you can bring it to that page with some kind of sorting and filtering, and you can add any view to that database. Obviously it will be linked to that main database and the data will be come from that main database, but it can be viewed here in the way you want it. You can basically add any type of view to it. I will explain it further in a moment. Then there is a media. There is image, video, audio, code, file. Then there is embedding. You can add Google Drive, Tweet, Figma, Google Maps, and the list goes on and on and on and on. And this is so amazing that you can't get this all figured out in a day or in a week. I guess it takes little bit of time. but once you understand it, then the things you can do with it is amazing. Let me give you an example of a linked database, which is such an amazing thing. So if I go here and if I create any kind of database, let's say table view. So as you can see, here are headers of the thing, and here you can add the data. So let's add something, maybe project 1. Okay, so let me give this database a name, project board. Okay, and let me give a tag here. So let's say this project 1 is a website. Okay, and this project 3 is an app, and this is just a upgradation. Let's say this is also an app. I can like just open this thing and it opens like a new page, and I can add pretty much any content or anything into it, and I can go to properties and I can add other properties as well here to that particular row. Formula, relation, date. Let's add something called as creation time, and let's name it created on. So as you can see here, it is visible that when this row, this page is created. Now this page is here, this database where everything broad aspect is here. Every project which comes to me, let's say I add it here, and then I want to further classify it into more databases where I can differentiate it if I have an application team, for example. So whatever project comes here which is an app related thing, so I want something that it automatically goes to that database, it automatically gets visible to that database, and same for the website as well. So what I can use is, so let's say I've created another page here, okay, and let's name it app. Okay, now what I can use here is a linked database. So where is it? It's here, and as you can see, it tells me give me the source of the database which you want to link. So let me add a project board. Okay, as you can see, everything which is available in this database is completely fetched by this linked database. So after fetching the data of the parent database, what I can do is, if I want this page to be app centric, that whatever this database gets fetched, it's all about an application. So what I can add is, here is a filter. I can add a filter from here. I can say add advanced filter, and I can say tags contains app. So as you can see how magical that thing was, that it automatically sorted the tag which has a tag here of app, and it fetched only the data of the tag which matches to the app tag. So if I add here another project, let's say project 4, and if I add it as an app, as you can see, it's already available here. This database is, although it is linked from the parent database, but it can have its independent view. So let me add a new view here. So if I go to this add new view, and if I click on again the project board, and as you can see, table is the first view and other one is also added a table. Now from these 3 dots, I can go to layout, and from layout I can click, for example, list. So as you can see, it's a table view and this is a list view. And other than that, I can go to this view and can go to properties and can make the tags and creation time visible. Now it doesn't affect anything in the main database. So as you can see, there is only a table view, there is no other view. But when we go to the app page, we have 2 views based upon the user experience and how the app team wants it. So as you can see how powerful it is, and you can do these kinds of so many things into Notion that I can't even put it onto one video, but I just give you a glance of what is happening and how it works. So now let me give you another example of my own page, which is a content creation page, and how I use it to manage and to segregate each content I put onto the internet. So if I go to here, I have divided it into 2 parts, the YouTube and the LinkedIn. So whatever content I create is majorly focused on these 2 platforms. So if I go to YouTube, for example, and here I have this board view here. As you can see, it says board view. So I've created a database which has a board view. Now here every board section has a tag. So whatever idea gets into my mind about a video or something, I just put it here. Then it goes to the research section, then scripting and review, filming, editing, scheduling, and the list goes on. And this is the way everything goes and everything flows. And this is my way. There are obviously many more other ways, and how you can figure out that which way works for you. So after installing Notion and after exploring some of its parts, you have this amazing section called as templates. So So Notion knows that when you install it at first, you will not get an idea of what is happening and how I can use it. So Notion has this template section where Notion provides templates for pretty much every aspect and every use case that one can need, and you can pretty much download anything from here. For example, if I go to personal, and in the personal, let's say task clicks, as you can see here, it is already builded, and you can just use this template, click, and as you can see, it is completely copied from that template and it is available here, and I can use it, tweak it a little bit for my usage, and I can use it. And there are so many others which you can use, which you can implement. Once you go here, you can visit every section here and you can figure out that what works for you best. This was the little bit overview of what is Notion and how powerful it is. So this was Notion, and basically anything which comes into my mind, I just dump it onto the Notion. And as David Allen says, your mind is to having ideas and not holding them. So it's absolutely correct, and I try to be onto that line every day and every part of my life. Now second is Google Calendar. Now I recently started using Google Calendar, but once I understand it and once I understand the power of it, it is so amazing and so useful that I instantly added it to my automation pipeline. It's working seamlessly with my other apps and other services which I use, and it's helping me every day in my life. So let's again move on to the screen and see how I use Google Calendar. So this is my calendar page, and this is the way I use it. The most things which are used in the calendar is events and tasks. So you can add task, edit it, arrange it the way you want, and there is this thing called as repeat the task. I hope most of you already know this. So in the repetition thing, you can basically customize that whichever task is there, in which context you want to repeat it or in which cycle you want to repeat it. So you can basically channelize it the way you want, and I think that's the biggest thing of Google Calendar which works for me. So as Notion is there for me to dump all ideas, all plans and everything which comes into my mind, Google Calendar has its use for channelizing those ideas in a proper generalized categorized way and then adding them into proper sequence that which task in a general purpose will be executed at which day or which week. So for that thing, Google Calendar helps me, and it is available on every app and website and iOS and Android and everywhere. This is the way it works for me, and I just keep changing these things according to my needs and all. For now it's like this, and I just keep updating it in every week or two according to my plans and projects. Now third is Whiteboard. Now I am using a Whiteboard for many years now, and as Notion is to put all my ideas and plans onto it, Google Calendar is to structure and arrange it in a proper order in a generalized category for the days and weeks. The use of Whiteboard here is to specify all those things for that day according to the categories, and it's basically a to-do thing which I use for myself. I've also used many apps in the past, and I'm going to surely share with you the names of the apps later in this video. But what I found out is that Whiteboard works very well for me. Like, I need everything in front of my eyes each time whenever I am working. So for that purpose, board is working for me. Really, if you have a whiteboard or if you're thinking to buy a whiteboard, then just go and get it. It's really helpful, and you can use it in a multiple context, in a multiple ways, and it can surely help you to increase your productivity. So next is pen and paper. Now, no matter how advanced you become and how advanced these industries and these services becomes, the feeling of writing with pen on a paper cannot be replaced with anything in the world. So I also use it. Now my use of pen and paper is to basically brainstorming about an idea or a plan in a general and rough aspect, and once it gets cleared, it gets structured, as soon as I get to know that what to do with that thing, I instantly put it onto the Notion page, and that's how this cycle works and helps me throughout my day. Next is Google Keep. Now Google Keep is like a sidearm gun for me, and I use it as an instant note-taking system. Now you can do that thing on a Notion as well, but Notion takes a little bit of time on opening on a mobile screens, any type of phone. So for that thing, it doesn't work for me, but it can be work for you. But for me, I use Google Keep. It works awesomely for me. I can use it on my mobile or on my system screen with browser. So it works really awesome and gets fit into my automation cycle. So this was all about Google Keep. Now the last one is Google Sheet. And I'm sure you have used the Sheets as a Microsoft Excel basically in your schools or colleges. Google Sheet is basically the Googled version of Microsoft Excel. Now the benefit of using Google Sheet is that unlike Microsoft Excel, you can use it anywhere. It's basically platform independent. You can use it as an app on your mobile mobile. You can use it as a web interface on a browser. That's the base point to use Google Sheet, and everything, whatever changes you do either on an app of a Google Sheet or on a system with browser or on a website of Google Sheet, that changes instantly gets synced to all your devices which are logging with the same ID, and everything is saved on a Google Drive. So that makes it very powerful and very useful. Now I use Google Sheet basically for my finances and budgeting related stuff, but I can surely show you one of the example which is real world and I use it on a daily basis. Let's get onto the screen and see what it is. So this is the example of a Google Sheet. This is the one of the sheet I use every month. Now what this sheet does is, whatever the electricity which is consumed by the motor, for example where we live we have 3 floors, so whatever bill comes needs to be divided into the people which lives here. So what I do is, initially I used to do it manually. Now I use the power of Google Sheet, and to be specific, the FX function, which is really awesome. So as you can see, I just want to give this 4 inputs to the sheet and it automatically calculates other things. So I don't need to open a calculator and calculate it manually. So here's the thing, Google Sheet saves my time. This is just the one use case. There are multiple use case. For example, main use case can be in the finance or can be in a budgeting section. For example, if I add here, let's say the bill amount is, for example, 1600. Okay, and the total unit which got used is, let's say, 200. As you can see, it automatically calculates. And let's say I add here is 270. This is the section where specifically the motor which is consuming the number of units. So on last month it was 255, now it's 270 for example on the meter. So 15 units in this month. As you can see, it calculates automatically. So I've used this, actually in the background this formula is working. So as you can see, the bill which is generated on 25th of the March, it automatically calculates, and now the price comes is 40. So every flat needs to pay 40 rupees for the motor bill, and this is the way I use it, and you can use it the way you want. You just need to understand the FX function and the functionality, and once you understand it, you can pretty much do anything with the sheets. So these were the all apps and services I use as my second brain or as a personal assistant for me, and you can use it as well absolutely for free. These all apps and services are free, and if you are wondering that if there are any other options for specific service which you don't like throughout this video, then the answer is yes. So now these are the honorable mentions that I've used in the past, but I've moved from that service or that apps. The first is Todoish. It's a to-do app, and you can replace basically a whiteboard thing with this app. It works really efficiently and you can surely use it. Second is Evernote. Evernote is basically a small version of Notion, and I used to use it earlier, and you can surely use it. It's awesome, but after some point you have to pay some charges for it because it has some free tier storage space onto it, and once it gets filled you have to pay for it. So it's also an awesome thing if it works for you. If your works and your stuff gets resonate with it, surely it's an awesome thing. Next is OneNote. The best thing I've found into OneNote is the feature of text to speech. Anything you have written onto a note or onto a page, there is a button on a OneNote which you can use to instantly read that words aloud, and there is a system onto it which reads all that words, and you can anywhere listen to it and anywhere you can go through it. So it becomes very handy. I'm sure Notion will also introduce that thing to their services very soon, but it's really awesome thing, and for that thing you can surely use OneNote. Next one is Trello. So Trello is a board taking system which I earlier showed you into the Notion. So that part of the Notion is actually a full app called as Trello. So you can use that app as a board view, and if it works for you, surely it can help you and can maximize your productivity and can automate your day. All these apps works independently on any platform, iOS, Android, web, Mac, Windows, and you can surely use it anywhere you want. So I hope this video helped you to get an idea or an essence of how these systems and apps work. How can you build one for yourself using these apps and services? And most of the time, all these big companies and organizations use the same concept to build their automation system and their process pipelines. Maybe the apps and services are different, but they use the same thing. I hope after watching this video, you got an idea that how you can build one for yourself or for your company. And surely if it helped you, then that's a great thing, and you should surely focus on implementing it. Now, one thing came into your mind that after watching all these apps and services, you may be felt overwhelmed that it's little bit hard and stuff, and surely it is, but you don't have to start with all of this. It took me months to understand these services and how these functions works and all that. So I've started my journey with one app, and you can also start with one app, understand all the concepts and all the nitty-gritty details of it, and you can slowly add a new one and can build your system eventually. So just keep working with one and slowly try to add a new one. So if you felt this video useful and if you got some kind of value out of this video, then surely like it and give love to this video, and surely share it with your friends and family. So that's all for this video. Thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Namaste.